This is my pleasure to pass the deed, and this adds a little bit over 16 acres to the park, which is a very, very important thing. And I think anytime you can add anything to the state park system is a good day.
Well, I think the most important thing for me was to show that developers can be environmentalists and can get along with nature. And we spent a lot of time with Oscar Scheer Park and the Friends of the Park to make absolutely sure that we had the guidelines in place at Willow Bend to make it a special neighbor. And the whole aspect from day one was to be as close to nature as you can get, is what the name of our slogan was at Willow Bend.
We first anticipated this property coming into public ownership in 1989-1990, but even all the good planning there was nothing that guaranteed it coming into public ownership unless we had someone like Mr. Wetherington who would step up to the plate and recognize that it was both in the public's and the subdivision's best interest to have the lands managed by the state park.
We've shown it can happen. It worked well. It's become a model not only for Sarasota County but for the state. We've won honors from the state also for Willow Bend. But the main thing and the most important thing is that we were able to give 16 acres to the park and add to the park. The park is surrounded on 2 sides, almost 3 sides now with development. So any additional land that can be donated is always going to be good for the park and good for the community.
Oscar Scheer State Park is one of the wonderful examples of partnership.
One of the things that I did with my development, of course, was to actually build a walkway into the park, right to the front of the park, so people wouldn't have to drive around to get in, and they could ride their bikes or walk into the park. And I consider that also to be very important for the park and also for the neighbors. I wanted the neighbors to be able to come into the park, see how beautiful it was, so they could help protect the park.
There's 2 significance. First thing is you have the significance of it happening here. So we have more native habitat that's now incorporated into the park. And every time you do that, you exponentially increase the benefit of not only the piece that you bring into the park, but the park itself. Because when you have it together, it just functions better as if you had 2 isolated parcels. But probably the more important step that we took here today was a model that we hope other developers and other natural areas can follow, that shows how the subdivision and the state park and the natural resources can all benefit at the same time.